CBS Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is a bright and sunny Wednesday, but things in Genoa City are anything but sunny right now. We have so much to dive into today, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get straight into the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. And I just have to start by saying, did any of you guys actually see this coming? Because I honestly did not. I really did not. Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless was just, whoa. It was a lot. I'm honestly still sitting here staring at my screen trying to process it all. So let's just talk about Phyllis Summers. She is completely spiraling right now. And I mean spiraling in a way we haven't seen in a very long time. She has lost literally everything. Her business is gone. Her family is gone. She is backed into a corner by Victor Newman, which is a terrifying place to be. Let's be real. And she just completely broke down, a full-blown panic attack. Complete breakdown, gasped for air. Total terror. But the craziest part, the absolute wildest part of this whole thing. The person who talked her down off the ledge was Sharon Newman. Wait, let me just repeat that because it sounds fake even as I type it. Sharon helped Phyllis. But it happened, and it was honestly one of the best scenes we have gotten in months. Maybe years, okay? That sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. The acting was incredible. So let's back up a little bit. We all know the history here. Sharon and Phyllis have hated each other for decades. You guys. They have fought over Nick so many times I have lost count. They have schemed against each other, yelled at each other, practically destroyed each other's lives on multiple occasions. It was always the classic soap rivalry, the blonde and the redhead, the good girl and the bad girl. But recently, they kind of agreed to put all that garbage aside. They agreed to stop fighting for the sake of Nick and their big, messy blended family. And I thought, okay, sure, that will last about 5 minutes. Because it's Phyllis and it's Sharon. They never actually get along, but they did. And this scene on Friday proved that it wasn't just talk. And the kids, oh my gosh, let's talk about the kids for a second. Summer and Daniel, what is going on with them? I mean, I get it. I really do. Phyllis is a lot. She is exhausting. She manipulates, she lies, she schemes, she stole Victor's company. Which, by the way, what were they thinking with that storyline? Who actually believes that messing with Victor Newman is going to end well? Nobody messes with Victor and gets away with it. So Summer and Daniel are just done. They have washed their hands of her. Even when Phyllis finally cracked and reluctantly agreed to give the business back to Victor to save herself, it wasn't enough for the kids. They still turned their backs on her. They just see the same old scheming, toxic mother who never learns her lesson. But maybe I'm being too harsh on Summer and Daniel. They have been through the ringer with her over the years. They have been lied to and manipulated so many times. But still, seeing your mom having a total mental breakdown and just walking away. That is cold, really cold. It hurts to watch. So there is Phyllis, completely alone. The walls are closing in on her. She is hyperventilating. She is terrified. She has no one. And who steps up? Sharon. And this is where the writers actually got it really right. Because they didn't just have Sharon do it out of nowhere for no reason. They tied it back to their shared trauma. You guys remember the Havenhurst kidnapping, right? With Martin, that whole absolute nightmare. Sharon and Phyllis went through that intense terror together. They survived that monster together. And trauma bonds people, it just does. It wires your brain together in a way that normal friendship or even family doesn't. Sharon gets it. Sharon has been to hell and back with her own mental health struggles over the years. She has been in the dark places. She knows what it looks like when someone's mind just snaps under the immense pressure of everything going wrong at once. She knows what a panic attack looks like, what real, raw, suffocating terror looks like. And because of that deep understanding, Sharon doesn't look at Phyllis and see the scheming, manipulative villain that Summer and Daniel see. She sees a broken woman. A woman who is drowning and desperately needs a lifeline. Let's really look at why Phyllis did what she did. Why did she steal the company from Victor? Was it just pure greed? No, I don't think so. And Sharon clearly doesn't think so either. Sharon realized that Phyllis stealing the company was a massive trauma response. It was all about control. After the Havenhurst kidnapping, Phyllis never really dealt with the trauma. She never processed the fear of being completely helpless, of being at the mercy of a madman like Martin. So what does she do? She tries to grab control of everything around her. She plans, she schemes, she makes these massive, reckless moves because if she is the one pulling the strings, no one can hurt her again. Because when you really look at it, Phyllis has spent her entire life trying to be the smartest person in the room so that nobody can ever take advantage of her again. But in doing so, she just isolates herself from the very people she is trying to protect, which is exactly what happened here. It is so sad when you think about it. She is just trying to keep herself busy so she doesn't have to feel the crushing pain and fear. But Sharon has done the hard work. She has gone to therapy. She has faced her demons head-on. She has allowed herself to heal from the Havenhurst kidnapping. So she can look at Phyllis and recognize exactly what is happening in her brain. The scene itself was just so raw and visceral. Phyllis couldn't breathe. She was gasping, pacing around the room, looking like a trapped animal looking for an exit that doesn't exist. And Sharon didn't judge her at all. She didn't throw her past mistakes in her face. She didn't say, "I told you so." She just stepped in, got right in her face, and helped her breathe. She grounded her. She told her she was safe. She was the anchor that Phyllis desperately needed when her own flesh and blood had abandoned her to the wolves. Do you guys remember the old days when Sharon and Phyllis would literally throw down over Nick? I mean, the screaming matches, the dirty tricks. Phyllis was always the wild card, the one who would do absolutely anything to win, and Sharon was the one who always felt like she had the moral high ground. It was exhausting, but so entertaining. But now they are older. They have been through so much more than just boy drama. They have faced real monsters. Martin was a monster. What happened at Havenhurst wasn't just a plot device. It was a deeply scarring event. And the show is actually treating it like one, which is so rare for daytime TV. Usually, someone gets kidnapped, rescued, and they are fine by Tuesday. But not here. Here, the trauma lingered. It festered in Phyllis's mind until it drove her to make the craziest business decision of her life. And honestly, it makes me look at Sharon in a whole new light. She is so incredibly strong right now. Even with everything going on in her own life, Sharon still had the emotional capacity to help her worst enemy. That takes a lot of grace. It is just so ironic, isn't it? The woman who spent years trying to destroy Phyllis is the only one who can save her. The children she gave birth to, the children she would literally die for, they just see the mask. They see the tough armor Phyllis wears every single day. But Sharon sees the scared little girl hiding underneath it all. So what does this mean next? I don't know. I really don't. Are they going to be best friends now? Probably not. Let's be real. They are still Sharon and Phyllis. They will probably be arguing about Nick again in a month. But this moment, this vulnerability, it changes things permanently. It shifts the entire dynamic of their relationship. It is a massive turning point. They have a connection now that goes so much deeper than their decades-old rivalry. I just keep thinking about how Phyllis looked at Sharon after the panic attack finally subsided. It was like she was seeing her for the very first time, not as Nick's ex-wife, not as the blonde competition, not as the enemy, but as a true lifeline in the darkest moment of her life. And the writers, I have to give them credit here. which I don't do often. They have been missing the mark a lot lately, let's be real. But this was brilliant television. It paid off decades of complicated history while also acknowledging their recent shared trauma. It felt earned, it didn't feel cheap or rushed for drama's sake. But I also have to wonder, how are Summer and Daniel going to react when they find out Sharon was the one to save their mother? Are they going to feel guilty? Or are they going to think Phyllis is just manipulating Sharon now too? Because honestly, I could see Daniel being super cynical about it, and Summer. Summer is just so hurt right now, I don't know if she can see past her own pain to realize how much pain her mother is in. And what about Nick? How is Nick going to feel when he finds out that Sharon was the one to save Phyllis? He is going to be so confused, but probably really, really grateful. Nick has always wanted these two to just get along. He has always been stuck in the middle, playing referee. Seeing them actually support each other in a real way might just blow his mind. But back to Phyllis, where does she go from here? She has hit rock bottom, hard. Her kids hate her. She is losing the company. The only person in her corner is the woman she used to despise with every fiber of her being. This has to be the start of a redemption arc, right? It just has to be. You can't break a character down this much, strip them of everything they hold dear, and not build them back up. Maybe Sharon will be the one to help Phyllis actually process her Havenhurst trauma. Maybe Sharon will recommend a therapist, or maybe they will just start having coffee together and trauma dumping. I would watch that. I would watch an entire episode of just Sharon and Phyllis drinking coffee and complaining about the men in their lives. So yeah, that is where we are at, a long, messy, emotional roller coaster of an episode. I am exhausted just talking about it, but I care about these characters so much. I have watched them fight for so long, and seeing them come together like this just hits different. It really does. Let me know what you guys thought of the scene. Were you as shocked as I was? Do you think Summer and Daniel are being too hard on her, or do they have every right to walk away? Because honestly, I keep going back and forth. 1 minute I'm like, Phyllis brought this on herself. And the next minute I'm crying because she is hyperventilating alone in a room. It is just so complicated. Anyway, I need to wrap this up before I start rambling even more. But this storyline, it's the reason we watch soaps, right? For these messy, complicated, deeply human moments. Let's just hope the writers don't ruin it next week.